Ugh. Yo, yo, just get my stuff set up here. Ugh. Man, I almost had a good sleep. I was sleeping good and then dogs, man. Just surrounded by dogs everywhere I go on this property. Barking at nothing. I can do either one, whatever you prefer. Yeah, it sucked because I was having like a really good sleep and then, um, yeah, got interrupted. We'll look at the one against Julia first. I don't know if I can help you much against him. Use a different account for everyone. Um, but I'll see what I can offer. He plays very weird, so it's gonna be hard for me to say. I've actually never even played against him TVZ. So, if you feel like what I have to say isn't overly helpful, that's fine. But I'll at least give it a look and see.
Hello?
Hello.
Oh, great.
Say something again.
Uh, Testing
Okay.
microphone.
Yeah, that's better. That's
Great.
better. My Discord freezes up constantly. I don't know what the deal is.
Yeah, but right now I have a problem. How do I hear the in-game sounds? Or just I just can hear your voice.
What do you mean? You should be able to watch through Discord, right?
Yeah, right now, yeah. Yeah, okay, solved then.
Yeah. I'm surprised you hit Julia on ladder. Is this him? What account does he use right now?
Probably this one. 6 days ago.
Yeah, it's not loaded on the seawall. Huh. Just give me 1 second.
Okay.
Okay. I just wanted to double check that it was actually him because the account was missing, but he did just delete his account for whatever reason, so.
Hmm.
Okay, Yeah, like I said, I don't know if you heard me. I don't know for sure if I can give you much advice against Julie. He tends to play kind of weird, and I've never played against him. But worst case, we can focus on basics. So we'll see. We'll see. What is your... Go ahead.
Okay. He went for massed expansions, you know. I could not attack any of them and just gardens into ultras. So basically he was toying with me. So pretty much I understand that I need to use the dropship. That's my evaluation. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm sure there's some theoretical stuff that needs to be refined. And then what is your typical opening you like for TVZ?
Oh, one Rax.
Like one Rax Acad?
Yeah.
Okay. And you don't wall either? I will say that for one Rax Acad, wall is really good, even though I don't do it either. You know, I'm kind of the best example of do as I say, not as I do. For one Rax Acad, it's really good when you can wall, because when you wall, you can skip submarines to get your barracks down a lot faster, which is really important.
Yeah, probably I will start doing it from E rank, because right now it's a lot of rushers, it's no point, you know.
Mm-hmm.
That was start of a trolling.
I mean, this is fine. It really doesn't affect us at all.
Yeah, it didn't, but he still won easily, you know.
Mm-hmm. What did we scout? I wasn't paying attention. Okay, we're in his base. Okay. Well, obviously, you know, this is terrible.
Yeah.
This is extremely important because you need to know, first of all, what the layer timing is exactly, and if he's making more lings or not. So, like, when this happens, you're kind of forced to continue making lings and posture defensive or marines. And truthfully, like, if you get ling doll in, like, you'll just die to this. But I don't mind this, pushing out the marines, checking the ling count. He makes a sunken because he's scared.
From this point, I should have known that he has another hatcher somewhere else. It was obvious.
Yeah, 100%. There's no lair yet. This is already extremely weird. Yeah, what's up, no man? So we saw no lair and no gas mining, which is like very, very odd. It does mean that you're not going to be worried about mutas like ever, so you can be comfortable in that sense. If I saw that, the thing is, the thing that makes it so hard for you now is you've now lost 2 SCVs to virtually 0 slow lings. He's made 4 lings, right? Yeah, he's made 4 lings so far, and he's killed 2 SCVs with slow lings immediately. So the issue we're having right now is, like, I can tell you how to respond because I have the stream, like, because I'm on the replay and I can see everything, but when you're losing the SCV like this, you don't have the information you need. But yeah, 100%, like, there is no layer of there absolutely is another hatchery. He should have checked inside of his base. We should be... I mean, your SCV just can't die like this. This is what it comes down to more than anything right now. Because if you have the information that he's doing that, you can just be super greedy. Your SCV is alive, so you can be skipping Marines, you throw your extra barracks down. Our academy timing's fine enough. But, like, we should be skipping Marines and making our barracks first. If your SCV is alive and you see no lings and you see no layer, like, he's just massing drone and being greedy, so you need to be pressuring him, so you need to be gearing up to pressure. He's gonna make a bunch of sunkens, and you can tech really fast. You can throw down your extra barracks, throw down your factory really early, and we'd be able to start pressuring him very early, because there's 0 mutas coming out. Yeah, our second and third barracks are unbelievably late now. Like, they should be almost done when your first medic is building.
It's in every game, like?
If you're doing one racks a cad, yes.
Yeah. So when do I start building Bay?
Huh? I mean, around this time, you have too many Marines right now and no barracks. This is the issue. You've overmade Marines for this build. I can show you an example of like one of mine in a minute, and even mine's not refined. Remap is very good at it, but part of it's because he walls, so he can skip a lot more Marines. But the eBay timing is kind of whenever you want at this point. It's a little bit different because you scouted no layer, so we don't need the eBay for anti-mute anymore. You want to just basically for upgrades at this point, nothing else. So the eBay timing's not even that important here. The barracks are definitely more important than getting your eBay against no layer. So here you scan the main, you see the layer building. But, I mean, you see it now, your money's going to start going way up. We have no production, right? To even spend our money right now. You have one barracks, you can spend 50 minerals at a time. What's up, Abel? Your SCV count, you know, we're not pumping SCVs constantly. Like I said, our barracks are late, eBay timing is kind of whatever. So here we're going to push out. You're a viewer and you have a replay. Okay, well I tend to do, when I do these, I'll do just $1 per replay. That's kind of how I'm doing it. Okay, against 3 Sunkens, we don't have nearly enough to bust this. It's fine. The air scouting's not been great. I guess, did you see this? You've seen this, right, or no?
No.
Okay.
Or maybe I saw it when I saw 3 Sunkens. Too late.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, but we're not abusing what he did. So our factory is really, really late, right? If I saw this like no layer into like a fast third hatch and he's not making lings, then yeah, I would cut Marines and get my production and my tech going immediately and get ready for like pushing and pressuring, because you have to be pressuring. The issue is that the speed you're going with everything is just by the time you're ready to pressure him, he's gonna be like completely set up with everything he could ever want. Like he's just starting Aspire like 6.5 minutes, 7 minutes almost. Yeah, it's about 6.5, a little bit later. You scan here, you see the layer, you see the Spire just starting. He went straight to Queen's Nest. He's made 0 units so far, right? He's made 4 lings, and that's it. So does this make sense?
So yeah, my problem that I was doing the same build every time, like in every situation, not very adjusting it. But right now I understand that I can skip the Marines, you know, just to build more barracks, which is obvious, or tech faster. So it's a new for me, you know, lesson.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's something that I'd started doing kind of recently, and it just feels really good. I did it against Urban in my games yesterday morning. You keep this scouting SCV alive. He's not making lings, I'm not making Marines, right? I'll go up to like 4 or 5 or something. In case he like suddenly like makes a swell of lings. But you can kind of stop to get your barracks sooner, right? Getting your 3 barracks right away is like much more important than getting your Marine count up early. The only reason you're making Marines in the beginning is to stay alive against lings. It's literally the only reason. Obviously, there's like some opportunity for pressure if he's like skipping lings and everything, and you know you can kind of walk out and like scare him a little bit. But generally, the early Marines is purely for defending, and then once your 3 racks are online, you get your like 3 or 4 medics out, which you only made 2 here as well. Typically, when you're doing this, you're wanting to go to like a minimum of 3 pretty early. Remap likes to do 4, I kind of started doing 4 as well, but minimum 3. Like I said, you're cutting Marines, you're getting your barracks online. In this case, you scan no layer, he's making a bunch of Sunkens, and with no layer and no lings, yeah, you can just get your production online, get your factory going, then you can start pumping your army and get ready to like push and start pressuring them with tanks, get your starports very quick. The faster you get vessels, the better, right? because you need to start getting that value. You can threaten drops into things really early. I mean, he skipped Spire for so long. You could have had like Starport done by now, right? With how he played the game. So if someone wants to play like this as Zerg, if he wants to make a bunch of Sunkens and defend and do nothing, you respond by just like fast forwarding all your tech and everything, and just getting ready for your mid and late game faster, so you can start pressuring him in a different way. Because if you try to go like, go ahead.
Could I attack at the first encounter that 12 base? If I knew about that base, maybe that was my point to produce Marines of medics.
I mean,
only I couldn't knew about that base.
Probably not, to be honest, but you can't really depend on that. That would be hoping that he makes a mistake more than anything. Yo, Goose! 2 raids in a row, huh? Insane. Yeah, so he'll probably make the Sunkens at the same time. Yeah. So, I mean, you're never going to be able to... That would just be hoping that he gets, like, lazy or does something stupid, but... Yeah, you don't even have enough to break anyway. But... I mean, from here, the game's kind of over already, because... We're starting our factory when he's gotten away with doing essentially nothing. Like, he's skipping all the... He's basically skipping the early game and just going straight to this, like, late game.
So I skip producing Marines and skip range, right? And then I go to +2 barracks and factory?
We don't need to skip range. But I mean, I guess you could, honestly. It's all...
Yeah.
Wait, what? What are you saying, Camp? Yeah, I mean, this is still like a decent timing. It's just that it could have been quicker, right? Like, you responded as if he was playing a normal game. You're playing like as if he's playing normal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know what he was doing actually. I had no idea.
Yeah. Well, you saw what you needed to see.
Yeah.
You just didn't
had no experience in
adjust.
this. Like, yeah. Now I'm stronger.
Yeah. Now you're tank pushing, but like we're tank pushing in 9.5 minutes, right? Like this could have been a few minutes sooner before he had like mutas or anything. Like he's about to have Greater Spire when our first tank comes out. I mean, drop chips would have been good. Like this is all like fine. What you're trying to do is just a lot later than it had to be. That's all, right? Like this is technically fine. Like it's the correct idea. It's just too slow.
My nick says it all, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking about this game. Maybe I needed 4 drop ships and just do drop in every base or more in one place.
Yeah.
And I think if I don't understand what Zerg is going, I need to scout every map, every location, because Zerg is so tricky, you know. You can place the hatcheries everywhere you want. So yeah.
Yeah, he didn't even have anything to deny your scouting. Like I said, he lost those first 2 SCVs to just a couple of slow leans, like, instantly. Which is a pretty big deal, but yeah, there was nothing to prevent you from, like, scouting the entire map all the time, and
Yeah.
he basically just sat here with 0 units, expanding and doing whatever he wanted without any pressure or punishment. He didn't even scout or anything, yeah. But, yeah, there's really not much more to watch. I mean, at this point, you're dead.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
Like, even if you defend,
That
it's
was
just-
troll. I could move SCVs. I was like, oh, Valkyries will kill them soon, you know. And I lost a lot of them.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's over now. Ultralisk and GG.
Yep.
You know, this S rank players amaze me. They do strategies that I don't know how to respond.
Yeah. Well, you understand, right? Like, this all makes sense at least.
Oh yeah, just do it everything faster, and you can skip the production, dude. It's so simple.
Yeah, I mean, it's a niche situation, so it's kind of hard to, like, teach, like, oh, when someone does this weird random thing, this is how you should respond, because you're not really going to run into this anymore, right? But yeah, it's just a little bit hard to teach that, but I at least can explain, like... Oops, sorry, guys. I can at least explain, you know, like, a little bit of a way to refine your build, kind of what you're looking for, at least. Like, you're looking for if he's making lings or not, or anything like that, and how you can respond. If he's not making lings, you can skip the Marines and make your extra barracks and that kind of thing, right?
Mm.
If they're going for, like, super fast hive off of, like, a lurker rush or something, then you respond by getting your vessels out as fast as possible, because Zerg is how you... or vessels is how you pressure Zerg. Or
I'm
drops,
concerned
or...
that maybe my build order is not the correct one. You know, I always place eBay before adding racks every time.
Yeah, if you're doing 1 racks a CAD, you shouldn't really be doing that. You need the barracks sooner. Because the whole point of 1 racks a CAD is you get up to 3 barracks and you have stem and range pretty soon after the mutas come out. And then you can make very, very light turrets in the very beginning, because you have so many units. Like, you should have around 12 Marines and 3 or 4 medics, right? When the mutas are starting to come across the map. With, like, stem and range. Or you'll be like 8 or 9 Marines, but you're pumping on 3 barracks, so you get up to 12 pretty quick, right? And the whole point is that Zerg can't go and harass you very much, because their initial muta count's going to be pretty low, and you would just have a very threatening bio ball early that can just counter and kill them, right?
Yeah.
Shouldn't go into a game with the mindset of I'm going to lose. It's not good. Not a good mindset.
Well, yeah, I'm doing my best, but just be realistic, you know.
Sure, but
it's not that I'm negative, you know. Just you playing against pro gamer, no chance to win, you know. Just being real.
What did we do? Why is our factory so late?
I made depot maybe because of that.
Well, you did 12 gas, right? So depot first is fine. You're supposed to depot before.
Another depot before factory.
Well, you're supposed to off of a 12 gas. You only factory before depot and 11 gas.
Can you repeat it? On 11 gas, you need depot before factory?
No, 12 gas. When you go 12 gas, you go depot before factory. If it's 11 gas, you do factory before second depot.
Oh yeah, that's correct.
Yeah. Your mining is not correct. Part of the problem. But even then, you have the money. Well, no, you kind of don't. This is happening because of you had SCVs that were stacking here on the bottom when you had patches that weren't even being mined up here. This is why you're having this problem. You gotta make sure every patch is being mined individually. I assume you know which patches as well are, like, the better patches, right? Like, this is the worst patch, you should always mine this patch absolutely last. This is your fastest patch, that's your second fastest. So, like, you can split and do, like, you know, these 3. If you can get this one, that's great. I think it's really hard to split down to here. I usually do these 4, and then first SCV, second SCV, but this is the worst patch. And then, yeah, you had multiple SCVs stacking down here and running around while you had this patch wasn't even mined, which is one of your better patches. So this is why you're having this problem where you don't have the money. And you ended up with a factory that It's only 3 seconds late. It's not that big of a deal, but things like that can matter with Terran, especially against like 12 Nexus builds and stuff, right? In TVT, it's really important.
Let's remind the order of left mining. So 3, 4, 5, 7 on start, right?
Yeah, if you can do these, this is like the ideal split.
Yeah, I start doing that. Like today I did that. So okay, but next one will be this one. Yeah,
This one,
yeah,
and then this one. And then
Okay.
you'll do these two. I don't actually know which
Yeah.
one is faster. Just either or. Probably this one, honestly, because it's just going to be closer. And then that one, and then this one last.
Yeah, yeah. I don't see the difference in my builds between those two, but yeah. Okay, I do it right.
Yeah.
I
mean, the most
have a
important thing
problem.
was that you just had SCV stacking down here when you had a
Oh
patch not
yeah,
mining. So, like, when you
yeah.
were... I'll show you just real quick. They're, like, little things, but we'll go over it anyway. I don't think these are, like, the most important. Let's see here, like,
I'm
this
so
patch isn't...
focusing on boosting, so I don't see the overlapping.
Mm-hmm. So it's when you send these two up here, and then all these patches are being mined. You've got this patch right here, which is one of your better patches, isn't being mined. And then you send your SCV down here to the bottom, so like you end up missing like a couple returns essentially, because you're gonna have them stacking on top of each other instead of mining this here.
Okay.
So this is why you lose a couple seconds.
Okay.
It's a little thing, but like I said, we'll go over it anyway. Just things to be aware of.
I believe in this game you will hate me, but I will skip the bunker because I saw from ProGamer he will skip if like basically in this case when one goon and Nexus you can skip bunker. I did that. Trying to learn, StarCraft.
Where's your depot, man?
So yeah, I don't know the exact build order, so I'm doing Vulture and then Depot.
Yeah, that's fine. But then you made more SCVs instead of a depot. So 24 supply is fine. Yeah, 23 or 24, right? Either one. I usually do 24. So 24 supply is fine. And then you go depot, right? Or sorry, you do... This is fine. You're going up to 3rd Marine, Vulture, this is fine. So it'll be Command Center next, and then depot, then bunker. If you want to skip bunker, that's fine. But the next thing you build after CC is your depot. If you're skipping bunker, go depot now, is the next thing. But instead you go... I think Marine and SCV. Yeah, SCV, and then you start a Marine. So our depot is, like, disgustingly late. Oh, you canceled your Marine. Why? Something went wrong. Oh, it's because we overmade SCVs. Yeah, that's what's happening. So you're overmaking SCVs. Your 3rd Marine should have been out, like, way before your Vulture was out. You're overmaking SCVs at this point. And our depot's really late. So you're going to get these extra SCVs that early, and then you're going to be supply blocked, and you're going to go way down on workers now. So making your SCVs before your depot is going to hurt your SCV count. It's not going to help. You're doing more damage to yourself than helping your eco.
Somehow I was thinking of not like to go full till supply SCVs is better,
Yeah. It's not.
It's not, okay, now I know, that's great.
Yeah, because, like, look, we just weren't able to make SCVs for a bit, so you don't really get an advantage out of this. You scouted Rangeless, did you?
I believe so.
Let's pay attention to your scout here. Okay, so yeah, you're gonna see the Nexus timing. What was this, 21 Nexus? Looks like 21. Yeah, 21 Nexus. This is fine. It's a little bit scary because when did we start our add-on? Is our add-on late too? Everything feels
Yeah,
late.
Should be. Because of my supply SCV strategy, you know.
Yeah, sorry. This is partly okay. So, sorry, and you go add-on before depot as well. Do you? God, I don't even remember now.
I believe first depot then add-on. That's why I remember.
Yeah, everything just feels weird because of these extra SCVs. So like, I can't even like my brain's like not computing what it's supposed to be right now because you've overmade like 2 SCVs. So yeah, I think it is. Yeah, because your depot would start before the vulture's out. Yeah, so the depot should have started before vulture's out. So when the vulture's done, you immediately start the add-on as well.
So on 24th I do depot, right?
On 24, it's CC,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Depot, add-on bunker is like the most greedy way of doing it. And then you go back to SCVs after. The bunker timing just kind of depends on what your opponent's doing, right?
Mm-hmm.
But in this case, you don't want to go bunker, that's fine.
But usually first depot, then bunker, right? Not
Usually.
like it depends, but usually.
Yeah. But you're...
Or but bunker before add-on or after add-on?
I actually just need to look at my games, because I've done it so many times that I can't even remember. Like, it's just like autopilot now for me. I actually can't even remember what it's supposed to be right now. Off the top of my head, I actually need to go look at it. I've done it like so many thousands of times at this point that I just can't even remember.
I'll feel fine in this
yeah,
case.
this is fine. This is completely fine. No, I think against Rangeless this is fine. Okay. I mean, you didn't lose the mine or the vulture, even though you like really should have. But he can sweep this mine like very easily. Catching this is nice. When you're laying mines, there's essentially 2 things you're mainly looking for. This is like, never go for mines like this, okay, where you're like trying to lay, especially their first vulture. Never go for these kind of mines because you're essentially hoping that your opponent messes up, right? Is this what you're thinking? Actually, explain to me before I go into it. What are you thinking when you laid this mine on top of these guns? What are you hoping for, or what are you thinking?
I want him to be afraid of mines. Don't get outside your base. Just stay in your base. Don't with these 2 goons don't meet. You know.
Gotcha. Okay, this is 100% the wrong way of thinking then. You don't want to show him where you're laying mines ever. You want him to come out not knowing where the mines are. You want him to lose the goons for free. If you show mines, you're like, hey, I'm putting mines down, so make sure you don't take any damage until your observers are out. Like you're helping him by showing him.
Yeah.
You want to lay a mine here, right? So the standard would be you're blocking the two expansions and then the attack path, right? So the standard is you're blocking an Nexus here, you're blocking an Nexus here, and you're putting a mine like somewhere around in here so you can see his army movement, right? This should have been a dead mine, and it's completely wasted. And your first 3 mines are like incredibly precious. Also, if they're across the map, you could have just won the game here, I'm gonna be honest with you. Because he walked across the map with these 2 goons, and he didn't know you had this vulture out. You showed him the vulture, he didn't even know it was here. if you put these mines in the retreat path of these goons, and I personally, I do this sometimes, you can do it, you don't have to do this, but it's something I like to do. If they're showing up with multiple goons, I will resume marine production, lay mines behind them, push them into it, and kill them, right? You can do this quite often, especially at lower level. But when you're showing him the mine here, you're saying, hey, there's a mine here now, make sure you're extra careful, don't lose your goons, don't come out, be very safe, preserve your units, and be very efficient when your observer comes out. You're giving him all the information for free.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, catching this probe is nice, then we block this, but now he already knows this is here, so he's going to be careful. He's not going to bring his goons back because he's worried about losing them. You show him the next mine, and he's already going to wait for observer, so putting this mine here is just another free mine for him to kill. So because you showed this, he's like, okay, well, let's be safe with these goons, then I don't want to come back home and walk in anything. I can control the high ground here, I can clear these mines, and basically he gets a 6-minute third anyway. So you got 0 value out of this vulture by showing him what you were doing. And this is a pretty early third for him to be allowed to take, but he's got 3 gate obs up already. He knows that he's safe. He saw what your opening was. He knows that he doesn't have to worry about mines anymore on the field. So he's like very, very comfortable right now. Now you go for this push, but imagine you had done this with these mines behind him and these goons would have died. I guess they're dead anyway. Killed our own vulture, but you could have, like, saved the mines from that vulture as well. Save that vulture. And, yeah, we can't really push because you don't know what his goon count's going to be. He's going to go up to 6 pretty soon, so, yeah, we can't do anything now. But you could have done that push much sooner when he was still on just the 1 gateway. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's really bad showing him. Like, you wanted him to be scared, like, but what did you accomplish with that, right? What did you accomplish by scaring him about the mines, right? He cleared them for free and got a normal 3rd-minute timing. Actually, a fast 3rd-minute, or a fast 3rd timing. Obviously, that's a miss rally. It happens to the best of us. Okay, you respond with a quick 3rd. I actually like that. I think that's good, because he can't do anything about this right now. He's gonna Arbiter Rush. Turrets is fine. Armor's running.
Basically, from my point, I had one mistake. I just needed to make 4 Goliaths and then kill Shuttle before Zealots before he attacked me, and that's all. That's why I lost this one.
Well, no. It doesn't. That's not how StarCraft works. Okay, you gotta get out of this mindset. I see a lot of people that do this. This is the wrong way of looking at the game. So we're at the 8-minute mark right now, right? And you just told me the reason I lost is because of this one thing that happened later on. How many things have we gone over now that you can correct and improve on that would make your game stronger, right? Like, we've discussed multiple things already to make it where your early game would be better than it is right now. So, yeah, sure, maybe you got to a point where you made this mistake and you lost, but this is not the only mistake you made. That is the only reason you lost. If you do everything correctly up to that point, those mistakes are less devastating than they would be. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, maybe you died because of this mistake that you feel like you made, but you also had less units because everything was unoptimized, and your opponent got to be extra greedy and was stronger than he should have been allowed to be, and there's like a lot of things happening that are going wrong.
Oh yeah, it depends on everything, every factor. And this map is bullshit, you know. You where you tanks you can't put the turret. It's so stupid, you know. Just put the turret on the left side of the tanks. Wow, that's how I lost.
Yeah, I mean, I agree that yeah, exactly, Camp. I mean, I agree. First of all, I agree this map sucks. But yeah, I don't set up like this because of what you're talking about. I never put my tanks out. I kind of keep them more like around in this area because of exactly that, because you can't build turrets over here to protect them. So on this map, I do tend to keep my tanks more in this space here, where I can keep my turrets protecting them.
That was also my thinking. Look, if you put the tanks in the online, the damage will be when enemy comes will be stronger. You know, that's what I was thinking.
Mm-hmm. It's partially
So, but
true.
yeah, I
Your
agree.
academy is also like incredibly late. Typically, academy you're looking at before your third factory. It just kind of depends a little bit on the game state, obviously, but doing a little bit later is fine. But this is like very late. We're starting it at 9 minutes, so we don't even know what our opponent's doing because we have no scans, and then of course, obviously the DT and stuff. So yeah, I mean the game's like over here, but like think about what I'm saying. Like you had what 5 tanks and a couple vultures here, right? So yeah, obviously this sucks. Our our factories are late, right? For going 5 fact, you did get this faster third, which is actually really nice. SCV count's looking pretty decent. Factories could have been a little bit faster. And like your factory should be done faster, your production should have been hitting a little bit sooner, and you would have a few more units. Like if you think about like the beginning, like if you optimize everything properly, like you get your, you know, your opening mining is like a few seconds here and then a few seconds there, and that stuff actually like compounds later into a bigger lead. Like you did these extra SCVs, so you got supply blocked extra early, right? So you weren't able to make SCVs for a little bit, so your economy is a little bit slower. And this what snowballs into our later factories, which snowballs into like less army and things like that. So at 8.5 minutes, you should have more than 5 tanks, right? You should have a bunch of vultures here as well. Like, I know you've lost a couple vultures, you got a few on the map, which is fine, but you're also still missing more than you would normally have. Like 5 tanks at this point is because we've made all these small mistakes in the beginning that compounded over time, and now we just don't have enough to deal with this. Like, yeah, the drop is annoying and it got a bunch of damage, but you're missing like 8 or 9 vultures here, and then you survive this attack completely fine instead, and then you're 3 base versus 3 base. So this makes sense?
So basically, I needed to had more SVs prior, right?
Yeah, it's like optimize your mining so that you get your hit your build correctly in the early game, so that your optimized early game is giving you like more SCVs and more mining, and your timings are a bit more crisp, and you're just gonna have more units and stuff like that. This all like builds up over time. So yeah, these are all mistakes that led to. This is exactly what I was saying before I even looked at it. Now that we're talking about it, now that I'm looking at it, like this is exactly what I was saying. Like, yeah, you made a mistake here with like our army positioning, but you just don't have any units either because of all these mistakes that I spoke about earlier. Whereas, yeah, you made a mistake here and he does this drop or whatever, but imagine your academy's on time, you have scans, you've got those extra 5 or 6 vultures that you should have now, you're actually missing like a tank or two as well. Like if you have all these things that you should have at this moment, it doesn't matter that you made this mistake, you would have survived this attack a lot easier.
Can you check the turret count overall across my base? Maybe I overmade it too much.
Would you make 4? I mean, typically 3 is kind of like the minimum, right? Like a turret, like 1 turret somewhere around in this space, and then like 1 on the ramp, and then like 1 back here. This is kind of like the minimum. That's what I like to do. So I would have done like 1 here, 1 here, 1 here. So the 1 extra turret's fine. I think this is a little bit wasteful. I think 1 turn out here is fine, but the second one being right here is kind of pointless. So not too wasteful on the turrets. I think is fine. 1 turret here is fine. Yeah, I think your turret in general is fine. You've made 1 extra turn, 2 extra turns. But yeah, the game's over now. Like at this point.
So I think about this situation. Maybe I was wrong to this third CC was too fast to take. Maybe I needed 4 at least factories. But from your standpoint, it's okay. It was okay. It's not.
I think it was fine. Yeah. I think the third base was good, but like, let's look at. Oh, sorry. Abel, if you're on my Discord, right? You can DM me the replay on Discord, and yeah, bits is fine. However you want to do is completely fine. I think you started with 3 tanks, right? Yeah, so we had 4 tanks at this point. Running off 1. I mean, everything looks fine. The supply block. Oh, yeah, we supply block here too, so this is going to eat into our units quite a bit. This is a really bad timing for a supply block as well. For what you're doing, like, I like this early third. I genuinely do. I think this is, like, a really good response. You saw the 6-minute third coming down. So, like, I actually think this is completely fine. And I would even say good, because he's going tech as well. The supply block is... You can't really make mistakes when you're doing something like this, though. You know what I mean? So the supply block is also going to eat into our unit count, which eats into our SCV production. And yeah, these are all, like I'm saying, these are all mistakes that kind of slow us down. So, like, we made 0 units during that entire supply block, and he's going to be coming, like, relatively soon. So this is part of why your unit count's really low. Also, the mines are way too close to your tanks. They need to be, like, more out here. You want mines so that... I know this is, like, kind of obvious, but we're going to say it anyway, because I know in the heat of the game it's hard to think about it, but just try to remember. When you're laying mines in front of your siege line, you want mines to be as far away from your tanks as possible, where the tanks can still shoot the goons if they're clearing the mines. So, like, right in here, around in here is, like, where you want, because goons down here can shoot the mines and they'll get popped by tanks. If you put them this close, obviously, like, Zealot drags or Zealot bombs will just immediately kill this. So this is too close to your tank line. Like, all of this is... These 3 especially. These 4 are, like, fine. But it could be even more, like, out here. But yeah, so we hit that supply block. We're not making units, right? Not making units, not making units, not making units. Now we queue up some units. And then he's about to come through for the bus. We get a couple vultures. Yeah. So we basically, in the last, like, minute and a half, added 1 vulture to our front line. Right? Like, that's maybe 1 vulture and 1 tank. So, while I don't hate sending the vultures around for vision, you need to be wary of the fact that you've, like, made these mistakes with the supply blocks, right? You should have felt very uncomfortable with how little you had here at this stage in the game. But this is a compound of problems. This game is not lost because you put your tanks too far to the right and you didn't have charge to cover them. This game is lost because of the, like, 30 other things that we did wrong.
A good point to look at it.
Yeah, I think it's very, very bad. It is a bad habit that a lot of people have to fast forward to the fight that they lost and be like, okay, this is the mistake I made. During this fight, I screwed up here, right? Which can technically be true, but that is not the reason that you lost. It's not the sole reason you lost. Games are almost never lost because of a single... I wouldn't even say almost never. I would say that a game is never lost because of 1 single mistake. Maybe that particular game state you lost because of that last mistake that you made. But it's also the 300,000 mistakes that we all make every single game before that point. Like, nobody's playing perfectly before that point, because if you're playing perfectly, then you would be allowed to make a couple, like, major mistakes. Yeah, to win from here would be very, very difficult. So I don't even hate this GG timing. It would be like another 45 minutes from now before you win. You'd have to have deflected this, and yeah. Any questions? Everything makes sense?
How to position tanks in that square near the turrets in like in square four at each corner. And,
you mean on polyboard like that?
Yeah, how to position them.
I mean, I can show you a general idea of how I would do it.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, I can just give you a quick little look here. God, I can't wait for my new mouse to get here. This thing drives me nuts.
New upgrade?
Yeah, I have, well, it's the same mouse, but not single player.
So what's the difference?
This one's just broken a little bit. The scroll wheel doesn't work, and
Uh,
The USB on it's not.
Right away, sir. Orders received. Orders, Captain. Roger that.
My USB is gone, so I don't have my USB, so the cord's like catching all the time, and it just like it messes with my click accuracy and stuff. So, did you lose your Marines early, or did you still have them? I actually don't remember.
I believe I had 2.
So whenever I take like a really early third like that, if I have the Marines still, I like to make a bunker as well.
Yeah, good idea.
Add-on complete.
Alright, so let's say that I was like, same spawn, right? He was down here, and I was trying to get this base. I would make the bunker with a couple of Marines. And then you can keep some here out to the right. Like, I don't think I would have... I don't know. It's so hard without being in the game to, like, think about how I would do it exactly. So it just kind of depends a little bit. I'll even do a tank over here. Like, if I were taking it this early like you did, then I would be definitely more, like, defensively postured. This, to me, feels, like, so aggressive. I don't like doing this for exactly the same reason. Like, I've never put tanks all the way out here unless I have, like, Goliath and stuff to, like, cover as well. Yeah, let's say whatever, we got our mining going, we got our tanks up, we got the bunker here with our couple Marines left over. And then, like, say that my siege line is up like this, right? So, let's say that he did come in for drop or something. These two are pretty vulnerable, they're gonna die, right? Like, I don't want to, like, set it up completely perfect. And then, like, I would lay my mines, like, out around in here, right? So you kind of see, like, if a goon's down here and a goon comes up to shoot this, your tanks are going to be, like, in range all the way down to there, right? But you just want it kind of more or less set up, like I said, so that your mines are going to be in the way, but they can't be cleared very easily without getting shot by the tanks. By the way, this is my scroll wheel, by the way. I'm scrolling only backwards, and it's doing this. This is what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you're still A rank, you know? Even with disadvantage.
Well, luckily you don't use scroll wheel much. Or ever in-game. But yeah.
Who used that?
But basically the same units, but like this setup is way, way more secure. Your tank's obviously going to be protected by this turret. I even purposely set it up so that these two are going to die to tanks or to drops or whatever. But even, like, say these goons all came from the front, like, these goons still can't break through this. Right? And your vultures would be back here, like, chipping away at the zealots and DTs.
Maybe push one tank between SCVs.
Like, around in here?
Yeah. One.
I don't like doing that. But, I mean, I guess you could. Thing is, like, a tank over here, like, you kind of want... The reason I don't like a tank all the way over here, is this kind of what you were thinking?
Yeah.
It's just that it's not really a part of the fight back here. Like, you want your tanks to be set up in a way where if one tank is shooting, they're all shooting more or less, which you kind of did with your tank line. It's just the way you did it was way too, like, vulnerable on the right side. This basically would have the same effect, right, as what you had, but, like, much more, like, snug and secure. Yeah, I don't know. Is that okay?
What
So-
about 2 turrets at that place near, like, turret, tank, turret?
Like-
It's better to have a couple of turrets, right?
Yeah, you can do a couple. I mean, it just depends on your money at the time, and like I said, it's all relatively situational, but... Yeah, like, if you know he's going for shuttles, then I would have made turrets, and I also would have had Goliath. Like, typically, if you're 5-packing, you should have a couple Goliath, especially if you're worried about... Yeah, I mean, you should have a couple Goliath pretty much always anyway. You always want Goliath to be clearing observers, and then they also double as a shuttle killer, right? Yeah.
Able SC cheered. X300.
Yo, thanks for the bits, Abel. Yeah, if you did join my Discord, right? Did I? Or you messaged me? Yeah. So just on Discord, just message me the replays. You want me to go over? Any more questions about that one?
No. No, I believe that's all.
Are you sure? You sound uncertain.
No, I'm just thinking what I could do better, but like don't miss supply, have more CVs. Like what can I improve, like fix? I was thinking about.
Yeah. I know it's like basic things, but the basics, I always preach on this. I think basics are the most important, right? You need to refine your basics before we start worrying about the more complex stuff. Same for me too. Like I'm always trying to refine my basics. Like I usually don't even get to parts of the game where I'm like, oh, I should have gone for like these kind of plays or like something crazy or whatever, because a lot of times it's like, well, I'm supply blocking here and I'm not expending properly and my multitask is too slow and I'm making mistakes, like fighting mistakes. So it's like when I have all those issues, I don't even bother talking about like all the other complex things that I could be doing correct. I think that's way less important when you're making basic mistakes.
That's true. But also you said that factories are late. Late on timing, or just because I had made those optimization mistakes?
I would say
Or
because of the
mechanics
optimization
of-
mistakes. Like, I think that is all things that led to your factories being later than they should have. Because I know like your 5-fact would be a little bit slower than normal because you went for this fast third. But we were at 9 minutes and they still weren't ready yet. But you had these supply blocks as well. So, yeah. I don't think it's necessarily... Let me back up a little bit. It's not necessarily that the factories were late, but your factories were late for how few units you had. Does that kind of make more sense? Like, you weren't making units and your factories were late. It kind of needed to be one or the other. Like, if you were on 4-fact and you were pumping non-stop, then that's completely fine, because I used to do 3 base off of 4-fact, right? But then you were a supply block, so you couldn't make units, so then you started making your factories, and so you had late factories and also no units. And I do think this is all stuff that kind of came from the earlier mistakes as well.
Okay.
Alright, TVZ on this disgusting map.
Yeah.
DB Swank. This is a custom game?
Oh yeah, I just joined in on West.
Gotcha. Alright, so before I look at this game, talk to me. What do you think about this game? What do you go for? What's your thoughts and plans?
Amazing game, and I had no mistakes, except for one.
Except
I'm
for
not
one.
counting the optimization, right? But yeah, my right now is like thinking like you need to make less turrets and just go attack Zerg, so his muta will not attack your base. That was I was thinking about this game, and since I just started practicing it didn't went for what I thought.
Yeah.
It will. So he just attacked me and killed me, like basically.
So it sounds like this is going to be a little bit more of kind of what we talked about with the earlier game, right? With the build and...
Yeah.
Okay, we'll keep
My
an eye on it.
same old build.
So here we see no gas. See the gas coming down at 3 minutes. This is... I don't want to say late because he's doing 3 hatch before gas, and this is apparently a thing that people do. I personally really like playing against this. I think it's very easy to play against because the mutas are so late. So here, kind of the same thing, right? Where... Oh, you do eBay? Okay, you do eBay instead of Academy. This is fine. I think eBay against this is fine. You can do, like, a 5 racks, right? I think eBay 5 racks against 3 hatch before gas is, like, super strong.
Okay. I always do like 3 barracks, factory to stop what's every game like.
Gotcha.
I don't know how to make money to afford. Like 4 barracks is bad because no tech. You will die. I don't know. I don't understand this matchup at all.
Well, if you're doing the whole point of like the extra barracks is because you're being more aggressive, right? That's the whole point. I mean, once again, our barracks, we're pumping off of 1 barracks for so long. I mean, it's fine. I just hate how slow these barracks are. So, yeah, here's the issue with how you're playing. You see him being really greedy and low tech, and you do this. This is the same thing you did before. You're not reacting at all to what he's doing. You're just doing the same thing regardless of what your opponent's doing. You can't play this way. You just can't do this. Like, he did something super passive and defensive, and then is like just pumping drones with no units. He made 1 sunken, and you're just staying at home playing a completely normal game. Your tech isn't really sped up. Your production's not really sped up. We're offering no pressure. We're just playing a normal game.
Yes. That was troll.
And we only have 1 medic as well out on the map. Double Hydrodon. And he's just playing on 2 base. I mean, at least you're scouting around. Seeing that he's not taking a 3rd. Which is good. This is fine. We take, like, no damage here. This is good. We have no turrets.
Yeah,
Why do we have no turrets?
I don't need it. I will attack, pressure him. He will stay outside my base. Oh, such a good strategy.
What do you want me to say about this game? You just didn't make turrets. Like, what do you want me to say?
So everything is awful. I need to adjust. I don't know how to adjust. Which I need tech or 5 barracks in this case. Yeah. So.
I mean, I guess because you can kind of do either. 3 racks into tech is just kind of like a normal game state, but I don't know. You've confirmed that he's on 2 base. If you scan and saw like still lair, you just need to defend to win. If you saw like lair, wait, did he make double? I swear I thought he was making double Hydrodon. Am I crazy? Did he cancel one? Must have been an accident. Maybe I imagine it. I don't know. Either way, if you see a Zerg that's on 2 base like this and you've confirmed, you've like scouted around, you see that there's no 3rd base, you're completely chilling. Like, he's not going Hive. He's on 2 base versus your 2 base. You don't even need to push out. Like, you just hang out and you get to your science vessels and you win this game. Like, you just win when you get vessels against what he's doing.
But look at that. Muta comes usually at 7 minutes at your base, so he's not late. He's on that timing. Standard like. So where is he chilling because he went for Muta attack on time?
This isn't on time. You think this is on time?
I don't know the timing. I just.
This is not on time. This is 3 hatch before gas. This is way later than normal. Like way later than normal. But
Okay, I don't know the timing, man.
yeah, it's fine. But you scanned and saw, didn't you? You even scanned and saw.
Yeah.
So you see the spire, you see the timing of the spire,
Yeah.
and you see this, and your reaction is what? What are you thinking?
Oh yeah, so let's attack. He will see with Overlord my coming out, and he will not pressure me in my base. He will, yeah, try to defend.
Okay, but then he counterattacks, and we bring everything back.
Yeah.
But even then, you still make your turrets, like... So I think I understand what you're saying. So you're saying, you see this fire is not done, so you're going to posture, like, really aggressively out here, right? This is what you're thinking? Yeah, this is fine. This is a fine way of thinking. And then you scan, if he's making Sunkens, you need to come back home. Like, if he's making a bunch of Sunkens, he's only going to counter you. We've got the scan energy, right? He's making 3 Sunkens. If you scanned and you saw this, you're coming back now anyway. So it doesn't even matter. So you're coming back. His mutas are starting, although he's even messed this up. Okay, never mind, they finish, right? So his mutas are done, which you did scan. You know that you're coming back home. If you scanned as natural, you're gonna see these mutas, you're gonna see the Sunkens. You make your turrets, and you're ahead because you're just going straight into vessels now.
So in this situation, I needed to skip some marines, right? Make 3 barracks faster, in total 3, and faster factory. So if I see this situation, 3 hatcheries, Zerg is shilling, what should I do?
You just tech. You get your tech up. Like there's no threat. You need to scan and get the information. So you scanned, you saw the spire timing, so you know what time the mutas are coming. You think you're gonna go posture so that he can't come and harass you, which is a completely fine way of thinking. But then you were forced to come back. You need to scan the natural to see what his reaction is, because if he's making a bunch of Sunkens, we can't break him anymore. He's gonna go for a counter. That's the only thing you can do. You know that he's on 2 base, so if you're 2 base versus 2 base, you're extremely happy as a Terran player, especially if you got your starports on the way while he's on 2 base. You scan the natural, you scan up here when you can, you see no Queen's Nest, no Hive Tech. You're like hard winning in this situation if you just defend. Does that make sense?
Yes, but regarding build order, so 2 barracks factory to eat faster, or 3 barracks.
I mean, what you did, it ended up being okay in this game state. Because of the late lair, I personally would go much more barracks heavy, and you're kind of like forcing him to make a bunch of Sunkens, and you can like play to deny his 3rd. If he doesn't want to go to a 3rd, then I would stop making Marines and tech faster. At least temporarily. Like, I don't know, it just kind of depends. Like, you gotta pressure him in some way. You can pressure him in different ways. You can pressure him by getting faster tech, you can pressure him by making a bunch of Marines, right? It's really kind of whatever you prefer. But if he's on 2 base, like, if my opponent's staying on 2 base, and I know that he's not taking a 3rd, then I would choose faster tech as a reaction.
So faster tech means how much? How many barracks?
It doesn't really matter. Like, it's just whenever you identify it is when you need to start reacting. The faster you identify it, the faster you can go for it. So it's not like... I don't know how to explain this. There is no, like, you should always do this answer. There's not an answer like this. It's like all situational. This is just how I play the game. This is how I view the game. In this particular case, it's like, hey, we identified, dude, he doesn't have a 3rd base. He's still on 2 base. We've scanned as natural. We see that he made 3 Sunkens. We know that mutas are coming because we scanned that, almost a minute ago now. And like once you've identified that, no matter what your barracks count is, you can start reacting according to that information. Like it's a matter of when you get the information more so than having like a specific build tailored to like whatever he's doing specifically. Like, does this make sense? Like, is it making sense what I'm trying to say?
Yes, but I just I want to understand the other build order, what I can do in order to play accordingly. So like variations, like, and I want to understand what means faster tech. So where should I sacrifice something in order to have that faster tech?
Yeah, so like what I'm saying is it depends. Like, once you've identified that he's on 3 base and he's not going hive, you start teching. So whenever that is, and the sacrifice would be
Marines.
Yeah, sure, like whatever, like less Marines, less barracks at the time, like you start your tech and then you go back into Marines, right? Like you make your factory and then you start making more Marines. Your factory's almost done and then you stop making Marines and you make your double starport. You make sure your second gas is mining on time. You get, like, you don't have to optimize like pumping units as much as possible, right? And we're cutting to make our turrets on time for these betas that we scanned were coming a while ago. Like, does that kind of make sense? Like, is faster tech is just it's just you start teching and then you go back to other things. When I say faster tech, that's kind of what I mean. It's like, hey, he doesn't have a 3rd base. I'm throwing down my factory. Or, he did 3 hatch before layer. Then it's like, okay, I'm gonna cut some Marines because he's not making Lings. He's not gonna have Ling speed. I'm gonna my barracks out a little bit faster, right? And then it's, oh, he's not expanding. He's staying on layer tech. Let me stop making Marines out of my barracks and drop my starports. Let me take my second gas right away. I have a bunch of units. He can't pressure me. I got my turrets up. If you got a bunch of units, you can kind of lean on them. Like, eventually you're going to force them to make more Sunkens while you're speeding up your tech. So it's like you make your starports, then you go back to your Marine production. Say you had 4 barracks or something at the time. Right? So you make your 2 starports, and that's like whatever money you have, you're doing SCVs, you're doing Marines out of those barracks. And then you can still continue to pressure with army that way while teching faster. Right? Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah, basically that's it. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we don't have turrets now. It's going up to 4 sunken, so
Yeah, that's it. I believe.
we have range. Yeah, we do, right?
I believe, yeah. Maybe I skipped it in order to make faster tech.
Yeah, we still want your Marine upgrades. So one thing, when I say skip things to make extra tech, just to clarify, it's never
Yeah.
you're not missing stem or range, but it looks like you do have range anyway.
Yeah. No, it's essential, right?
Yeah.
Range is Bible of StarCraft.
Yeah.
Yeah, well played, bro. Great game.
Alrighty.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. I hope some of what I'm saying makes sense.
Yeah, but with me or maybe with other students, like you need to repeat information a couple of times in order to remember it.
I know.
So don't be angry if I do the same mistakes again, but with slightly different variation,
It's all good. I don't think I get angry with coaching. I hope I don't. Alright, had somebody else send me a couple during this.
Yeah, okay. Thanks a lot. See you later, man.
No problem. You have any questions about what we went over? Obviously, you have the VOD and stuff. You can listen to it again if you need to. If you have any more questions, just let me know and I'll try to answer.
Oh, okay, okay, sure. One quick question.
Hmm.
If Zerg goes all in with 25, 27 drones and all in looks like gardens with hydras, should I go Valks or raid with cloak? Because today I went for raid with cloaks and it was very efficient, and I was like, oh, maybe I don't need to use Valks in this case. What's your opinion?
My opinion is Wraith with Cloak is the worst thing. Yeah, Wraith with Cloak only works if the Zerg screws up and doesn't have an Overlord. It's the only time it works, which should never happen. So, if it works, is because your opponent made a massive mistake. It's actually the worst option of the three. Because if the Overlord's
Okay.
there, it just doesn't work. They're useless. I personally
It's a bit
prefer Valkyrie. Some people will tell you Vessels, but Valkyrie is my preference.
IAMSLOW7
strange
just
because
donated $9.
yesterday
Thank
I played.
you.
I had I'm against this strategy 5 Valks and I lost. So today I won with raids. I was like, oh, okay, maybe it's the better response.
Did he have an Overlord?
No,
Okay.
obviously
If
not.
he has an Overlord, then what are you gonna do with your Wraith?
Type GG, I guess.
Yeah.
I know. So Valks is still the superior choice, right?
In my opinion, yes, but some people will say Science Vessel, so you just need to figure out which one works better for you. If you do
Okay,
Valkyrie, you
got
need
it.
a lot of Marine too, right? Whereas Vessels, you can kill the Guardians and then fight right after. I mean, either way, you need a ton of Marine, but... one of the worst things, like one of the easier ways to die to this build is if you're losing too many Marines fighting the Muta. This is like the worst part. You kind of need to keep your Marine count as high as possible while getting into Valkyrie to start dealing with the Muta Guardian. This is what makes it good. If you go for Vessels, then you're just killing the Guardians. But in either case, if you're losing the Marines, you're not gonna live.
Hmm.
Because typically when they're doing that build, they're using their mutas to chip away at your Marine count the whole time. That's their goal.
Well, okay. I made a donation.
Oh yeah, I saw. I really appreciate that, man.
Okay. Okay.
Thanks,
So
dude.
yeah, thanks a lot. So yeah, see you later.
Alright, sounds good. See you, dude.
GG.
GG's. Alright. Okay. Alright, we got 2 more from Abel. I'm gonna do these and then probably stop because my voice is already disappearing on me. I have, as you guys know, I have a very weak voice. Very weak. Alright, Abel, are you just wanting me to, like, watch them? Or do you, like, actually want, like, coaching? What do you want with these? You have 2 problems. Alright. Would you delete your account already? Play game Carrier Arbiter Panic and NTVZ. Okay. Okay. I didn't know what to do with my Marines after Lurker, and I just felt really bad. Felt really lost, and just sort of gave up when Defiler. This happens in like 90% of my games. Like Game Cure, Panic, and Observe gets third with Lurkers. I just don't know what to do. Are we coaching or roasting today? We're always trying to coach, you know? Sure you have 1,000 other problems? It's alright, we all do. What rank approximately looks like you're like D to E? Is that right? Just to get an idea of... I don't want to get like too complex depending on the rank, right? I try to cover fundamentals more and more depending on the rank. DC? Okay. What did I say? DE? My bad, I meant DC. That's kind of funny. That is actually what I meant. So I was just looking at your opponents. Have good mechanics, but I'm not a cognitive player. No problem. Although that is the harder part to teach in my opinion. Maybe we can figure something out. But I already have an idea of what you mean in the TVZ. So let's go ahead and cover the TVZ first. But I think I kind of know what you mean, and I think I'm going to have some answers for you. I've seen this many, many times, and I've been in that situation before where it's like, you have a bunch of Marines Lurkers there out and you're not sure what to do, so... What is your kind of go-to build, TVZ? What do you like to do? Okay, scouting pattern's fine. Fine enough. Here we get in here. It was 12 hatch. We did Rex FE, Rex Acad, 3 Rex tank vessel. Okay. This is my favorite build too. Okay. Sounds good. I've become like such a big fan of the Rex Acad now. 3 Rex. It's just my favorite build. Alright, so we're moving the SCV. This is good information, right, to have, so you can see the layer timing. The layer is, like, horrendously late. Did you go 3 hatch before gas? Did this happen again? Yeah, we did. Okay, we went 3 hatch gas. This is, like, so popular lately. Again. I swear I never saw this until just recently. It's like an older build, I guess, but now it's like, everywhere again. Okay, so I knew this was gonna happen. So when you do, you didn't notice? It's pretty important. So when you do rack CC, right? And you don't 15 CC, what you need to pay attention to is the supply that you take it at is like very important. Okay, so it depends how many Marines you want to cut. So here you go up to like 2 Marines. Right, and then I think you take a CC off of the 2. Because you get the scout there, you sell that as 12 hatch. Okay. Obviously, CC a little bit late, we're going to go up to 600 minerals, which isn't great. When you do rack CC, if it's not a 15 CC, and you go to 17, if you 17 CC, then you can wait for your CC for supply, right? Your command center. If you're over 17, so I think here we do a 19 is what it looks like. And it's even like a late 19. So basically 20. You're gonna have to make a depot, you're gonna get supply blocked. You just have to. So you make your gas, you go back to Marines, this is all fine, but we're gonna get supply blocked like very quickly without the depot. You go eBay. I think eBay is fine because he did go 3 hatch. But this is going to hurt you definitely some, this supply block this early in the game. When you're doing good keeping your SCV alive, so you like see, you know, no more lings are being made. He actually just blindly goes for the sunken, even though he sees that you're staying home. That's okay. And that's actually just good for us. Yeah, so you ended up waiting for your CC for your supply. And look how much this hurt you, right? You set their supply block for an eternity. You're floating 350 minerals, right? And your worker count didn't grow that entire time because of that. So just keep that in mind. If it's 17 CC, you can do that. Anything later, you're going to need to make that depot. It's just not worth it anymore. Like, you end up even on workers now, right? Pretty early, which is not great. So, he's going to go for her lair. We're adding our comsats now. Okay, and he's going to go Spire. Make the bunker. I think making the bunker is fine. I actually, like, this is kind of the thing. Like I said, at this rank, we're not going to be, like, super picky about specifics. I think the depot thing is kind of a big deal because you kind of put yourself behind for no reason. So that's why I mentioned that. We scan here. We scan the natural. Drone count. We see he's got a pretty healthy drone count. I imagine... Oh, we went single scanner. So you actually don't know if it's Lurker or Spire yet. That's fine. But as soon as I scan and don't see the tech, I kind of feel like I need to throw it on the scanner and double check, because it's really important to know. The sooner you know, the better. And, you know, you can kind of reconfirm, like, the Spire timing and all that good stuff. The hard part is that the next scan, you don't know if it's going to be, like, here or here. It's actually kind of crazy. He made the Spire here with the hatchery down here. It's very rare that they do that. So we're going 4 racks plus 1. I like this. Against what he did. And it's all gonna kind of work out for you here. So it seems like what you're saying, because like right now the game state's completely fine for you. Turret timing's actually pretty good. I think the placement's pretty decent as well. I mean, yeah, everything looks fine. We scan, we see the Spire. It's good confirmation, at least. We don't see the Hydra Den, though. So... yeah, it's okay. I don't wall either. Even though I should. So here's the thing with your build, right? So you need to be, like, leaning on your opponent. That's, like, the whole thing. So he's trying to take this third and go into Hydra Lurker, or go into like this fast Lurker, and you're going 4x plus 1. So your build very specifically against what he did is supposed to counter what he's doing. You should be pumping so much Marine that he has to constantly make muted to stay alive, and it makes it very hard for him to get into Lurkers efficiently. Because if he goes Lurker too quickly, this third base is dead. So basically, your bio would be like out trading and out fighting him as you just like pump, and continue leaning on him. If you're doing like this fast plus 1, like 4 and 5 racks, and then you're sitting, this is like very bad. Okay, so you scan this base. What's our response? Because we kind of want to be pressuring. I think this is a decent scan because you kind of want to see what's like coming out of the eggs. Unfortunately, you don't really see anything. But he's going into Lurker now. He's at what, 11 muta probably? Yeah, so he's at 11 muta. We have a pretty good +1 bio ball. Keep them close because you're scared of muta. Well, you can't do that. If you're going quick +1 with like heavy bio, you're delaying your own tech, right? So this is a late tech build that you're going for that's meant to be high pressure. So if you go for a high pressure build and then you play scared, That's what's going to allow him to get the lurkers before he should be allowed to get the lurkers. And you gotta keep, like, reinforcing constantly, right? We're a supply block, so this is a pretty big problem. We don't even have a depot started. So obviously this is gonna hurt us a lot here. But basically, you're just building up bio ball after bio ball after bio ball and just, like, pressuring. I mean, right now this is okay. Oh no, he's making lurkers now. Yeah. This is just too slow, right? This is what it kind of comes down to. Yeah, the supply block hurt us quite a bit, where we ended up very, very passive. And the fact that he was able to go 11 mutas, 0 harass, into not fighting you once by the 9-minute mark is like, yeah, this is why you're going to feel trapped. So this is why you're going to feel like you can't do anything, is because of what he got away with. You went high pressure build and then played passive. He went passive build and got away with fast tech. Like low army against your high pressure build. So the game already is... I don't want to say it's over, because of course it's going to be playable at this rank especially, but this is... We're pretty trapped right now. We're so far from vessels. The thing is, he's not on the ramp yet. But our ball's kind of small now because we haven't been able to reinforce, and like I said, the supply block, right? So we're like multi-queuing all these Marines, right? So we're just missing a lot of army at this point. And, yeah. He gets to come to the ramp for free. Like, we could have at least done the ramp. I mean, you could have even run up the ramp, right? Like, if you scan, you see the lurkers aren't here, you get up that ramp as fast as possible, especially since this is going across the map. Yeah. So... You did a low-tech, high-pressure build. I'm just going to reiterate. So this was low-tech, high-pressure. Into... We didn't actually pressure. So now he's got lurkers on the high ground and we have no tech. Right? So we're extremely far from vessels. It's really, really hard to play from here. But... If you stand and Sol, there's still no Queen's Nest, no Hive. It actually isn't... It's not as bad as you think right now. Yeah, I gotcha. So even though the situation does kind of suck, he got this third base, he doesn't have Hive tech. Like, there's not even a Queen's Nest. So if you scan and you see there's no Queen's Nest in Hive, it actually should still feel fine. Well, you're fighting, small chunks of bio here without using our bunker nomadics. But, okay, whatever. So, this wasn't great. A little bit painful, right? But our 2 starports are done. We start Vessel. And I'll be honest with you. You have so many Marines. I scan, and I see no Hive. I start working towards the 3rd CC while I get into my Vessels. So, like, the main thing is, yes, it sucks to not have Vessels before Zerkers are out because you can't really pressure. Like, you don't have tanks, you don't have vessels, so we can't pressure him, but he's really not putting pressure on us either because his win condition is going to be Hive tech. Like, he might could lurker bust us, right? But the way he's playing, this doesn't indicate that we're going for lurker bust or anything. He just threw away a fair amount of units, his meter count's low. He's got a defensive setup for this 3rd. If you scan, you see he's working towards Hive, so he's not like all-inning or anything. He's going back into droning, so... We keep pumping SCVs, we get our vessels out, we add our extra barracks, we can even start working towards our own 3rd CC and just try to play catch up because he's not optimizing either. So yes, while you can't do anything, he also can't really do anything other than tech, which is a little bit slow. Well, I would say very slow, honestly, for what he did. Okay, Amy is coming in for a counter, we throw down more scans. We see Hive Tech is still building. We don't know what the timing of it is. And you scan up here and you see these lurkers. So, like, you know you can't pressure. And that's fine. So we can just kind of sit defensively. And that's okay. Oops. These meters aren't really that big of a deal. looks like we're about to panic push, right? This is what it looks like. I don't hate the dropship either. While you were waiting for vessels, I actually think this is a really good idea. I'm going to be honest with you. The game still looks completely fine to me. Like, I would still take your position in this game. Looks like we were probably late getting our second gas because we don't have any gas. We're also making... At this point, there's really no point going tanks. Like, once you scan the hive, I don't think we should bother with the tanks and siege. It's kind of a little bit of a gas dump. We're 1-1. He hasn't... He's, like, barely started his upgrades. I feel like this is... I actually feel like this is favored for you. Now, granted, this is favored because your opponent was very slow with his hive tech, but I'm just trying to kind of give you an idea of, like, identifying game state, right? But with his lair, his hive tech being done, or not even done, you have vessels that are building right now. He's only got these 8 muta. He's got just a few lurkers up here. You got a dropship coming. Like, if you scan, he's been very light on mutas. You scan, you see there's no scourge or anything. He's everything set up defensively. You get a drop in the main base. You can even drop up here. Like, you still have a lot of options here. Even though I think attacking in here is the worst thing you can do, right? This is literally the only play that you shouldn't do is attacking into these lurkers with what you have here. And I assume by the timing, we're about to attack into that and quit. Could you get away with putting a bunker at the Zerg's choke at this point to cause panic and force units to come down the ramp? No, you don't need to do anything like that. Yeah. Yeah, no, I know this attack you're about to make is a... I can tell this is a... I don't know what to do attack, right? I can see this 100%. This is what's about to happen. So you just gotta try to learn to identify your options. This is not an option, but you have a dropship, so you created an option for yourself. I mean, lurkers aren't even inbound, right? You scanned and you saw the hive wasn't even done. So you're panicking, but you don't realize you don't need to panic. There's no Defiler Den started. Yes, we can't attack up the ramp, but you made the dropship, which is actually a good call in this situation. He's been super light on mutas. The mutas are even on the wrong side of the map. You get the dropship up here and you can start shuttling around. You do a drop up here, right? Grab up another load, do it here. Set up another drop over here. You got your vessels on the way. So by the time his Defiler are done, you're gonna have vessels out with a Radiate before he has Defiler still. So, yeah, I totally see what's happening, but yeah, you had options for sure. And yeah, I'm just kind of here to help you identify those options. But game state was still fine for you, but it's also important that you understood that kind of what your build is meant to do, right? Yeah, you didn't kill anything. It's fine. But yeah. That's more or less what I expected to see, but I think this is pretty good information for you. Just identifying your options. Identifying your options, understanding what your build is aiming for, what it's meant to do. Alright, TVP, more carrier versus arbiter. Panic. Sounds like Abel's a panicker. The real Casper. It's him, boys. Like I said, I won't talk too much about like the really specific stuff, like our factory was about 6 seconds late, but I don't think that kind of stuff matters too much at this rank right now. But those are things that I will start teaching you in the future. Okay, kind of the same thing. We resumed our SCV production a little too early. Yeah, that do a bit like that in the tourney, to be honest. Join late, but was he doing Marine Medic push-out timing? No, he did a +1 4x. But yeah, stopping at 24 supply, get your depot. What was our CC? What did this guy took his third as his natural? What is happening? What am I looking at? Did you eBay block? No, he just decided to expand over there. So weird. People are weird, man. Okay, yeah, this is fine. And then after CC, you need to do depot bunker or bunker depot. I actually would recommend bunker before depot at lower rank until you can kind of refine your builds a little bit or your mining and stuff like that, but you should not resume SCVs until everything's done. So like you want your bunker, you want your depot, you want your add-on, and we went back on gas too early as well. Another common thing, or like not a common thing, but a basic thing is you go back on gas after you start your add-on. So you just leave 1 on gas the whole time, start your add-on, then 2 back on gas. So try to think that. But yeah, it's yeah, okay, I got you, no problem. But yeah, it's bunker. Make sure your bunker, your depot, your add-on is all going before you resume SCV production. No, you just do it when it's done, or when you start it, when you start the add-on. Alright, so we're skipping bunker, which is gonna turn out okay, but if he walked across with these goons, you would have just lost the game. And here's another thing I'm gonna tell you. And I see everybody do this. I do it sometimes too, and I feel like a moron every time. Maybe you don't normally do this, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Never try to get in with this vulture. Did you see the CC or Nexus? I think you did, right? Maybe not. Okay, we actually didn't. Oh no, that's not the vulture. My bad. I think you didn't, did you? So you were just trying to see Nexus. Yeah. But here's the thing that you did see. So you don't even need to see the Nexus, okay? Well. So you didn't see Nexus here, which is obviously weird, right? But you see 2 goons. So you already see that there's no Nexus here with the 2 Dragoons, which is odd. But sending your Vulture in again doesn't really do anything for you regardless. You know what I mean? The only thing it did do for you is you saw the 3 goons with range, which is already enough information, but you should be scouting around the map, honestly, instead, at this point. Because you're not going to see anything anyway. Like, the Nexus is already late in your head, which I would have thought so too. So if you come back in, all you're going to see is, yeah, the Nexus is late, which you already knew that, right? Either no Nexus or the Nexus is late. Either way, it kind of doesn't tell you anything. because there's still going to be 2 goons here, right? They should technically be plugging the ramp. Now, the thing that you did see with this vulture, okay, range is done and 3 goons, so you don't need to commit at that point. I would immediately be looking for either a Nexus or assume it's 10-15. I would have thought 10-15, to be honest with you. But if you think it's proxy, right, scout for the proxy. Going back into his base, like, what is that ever going to do for you? You know what I mean? So you think it's proxy, then look for the proxy. Otherwise, I'd be going siege mode. Yeah, so tanks and then siege mode after mines, right? Because I might have even canceled this. To be honest with you, I might have canceled minesing on siege mode. Because to me, that looks like a 10-15. This is obviously weird for him to do. But what you see here is goon range, right? Like, you should be testing for goon range, rather. You kind of went straight in, so you can't tell. But we're at 430. I think 430 is typically, like, when a 23 Nexus goon range finishes. I want to say. I don't know if he went... I mean, it's hard at this rank, right? It's a little hard to tell. But you should just be checking for goon range. So, yeah, it's 427 is when his goon range finished. So, you can just see the goon count and see goon range. So, once you confirm goon range, you know that he didn't skip it for, like, a faster Citadel or anything. So, at least you know there's not, like, some crazy fast ETs. Right? I mean, this is, like, kind of an awkward situation. It's a little bit odd. But sending that Vulture in was never going to do anything other than if you wanted to check for goon range, which you can do without losing the Vulture. And then you could lay your mines and go back to scouting around, right? But, yeah, I can understand why you're a little bit confused. I totally understand why we went, like, fast eBay, turret, like, this all makes sense. I totally get it. Not gonna even disagree with you there. I probably would have done the same thing with the same amount of info. It's very hard to figure out what this guy did, honestly. It's so nonsensical because look at how impossible it is for him to protect himself. If you had, like, a bunch of vultures with speed or something. Or, like, if you went drops or something, like... What he did is so bad, it's crazy. But, understandably, you got confused. Right? I'm not gonna hold that against you. So, that's fine. Whatever. We're gonna be a little bit behind, but it's not even that bad. Like, our work account's actually fine. He had, like, the longer transfer. He's got this weird thing going on. And here we see the Nexus, so it's like, okay, now we understand what happened. We get our mines up. It's good. Academy, Force. Okay, there's our armory. I mean, everything's fine. Yeah, everything looks fine. This game state is completely fine. Even though it was, like, a little bit annoying, we had things a little bit suboptimal because we got confused. I like the vision with the mines. The only thing I don't like about the mine vision is that we don't have anything for his attack path. It's always good to have a mine for his attack path. Even though, yes, it's going to get cleared by the observers, it's still good. Just to have that kind of comfort. Like, you'll see the observer timing, you'll see the goons come out. So a lot of times when you do mines in the attack path tells you 2 things. When he's coming to attack you, if he doesn't have observers, or if he's waiting for observers whenever the mine for attack path. So when the observer comes down, he's going to clear it. Then it's like, okay, now I know what his observer timing is, right? It's basically free information for what your opponent's doing. So you know that he went robo and nothing like crazy. He's not skipping robo. If you get to a point where it's like you got mines everywhere and he's not clearing mines, you start getting suspicious. Like, could be like 2 base carrier or some sort of arbiter rush with no robo, DT drops, like whatever, right? Because typically the observer timing should come out around 6:30. See what he did. Again, I know at your rank it's a little bit harder because timings are going to be a little bit off, but yeah, see. If they do like gate robo, it's typically around 6:30 it comes out. So if you're getting to like 7.5 minutes or something, or really, really much past 6.5 minutes, you start kind of want to start getting suspicious if he's not clearing any mines anywhere. Typically you would have like a mine on the third, but he kind of skipped that part of the game. Alright, anyway. Going to the 7 gate pretty early. I mean, I imagine you run into like a lot of gateway men too. Three cannons. It's crazy, man. And we are, what is our plan here? We're pumping off a 5-pack. We have a decent sized army. A typical 5-pack pushing comes out around 9 minutes. Is it 9 or 8? I want to say it was 9. You actually have like a lot of units right now, right? So we're just doing 5-pack and defending. Are we gonna push? Because here's the issue. We're not teching either. Gotcha. So if you want to play passive, that's fine. Like having vultures out on the map like you're doing is fine, and playing passive is fine. But we need our starport forever ago. If you want to play this way, you want to be at least getting your upgrades going kind of as early as possible. Like a defensive 5-pack into a third base is fine, but also be getting your starport and stuff if you're not planning on pushing and pressuring. Like if you scan and saw this gateway count, which you may have, I think I heard some scans earlier, I wouldn't push into this either, so I would see this and be like, okay, and then drop my starport and CC, right? Like, we're not killing that. We know that he's still on 3 base, he made 1 million gateways. We would scan and see that his tech's a little bit later, so we're not in a hurry for anything crazy. He's postured very defensively. Vultures running around the map playing mines is like obviously always good. Good for map vision, map control. So right now game state's completely fine. I would say very winning for us. At some point we do want to be scanning and seeing what he's doing. This guy makes so many cannons, man. It's also only on 2 gas. He's trying to go Arbiter off of 2 gas. Your supply at this point's fine. And you got a pretty good defensive setup. More or less. These tanks make me a little bit nervous being on the outside here. Yeah, you have too many tanks that are like very far away from, like, these aren't really defending anything properly, right? So he's actually going to be able to break through this position. But I think, from what it looked like, your SCVs weren't clicked on the resources. Some of them. Nice. Because they shouldn't be doing that. They should have just passed through the units to begin with. But our setup over here, this is not very helpful. And honestly, these mines, I was wondering if I should mention or not, these mines make me very uncomfortable, because this is kind of where you want your army sitting. You want your army like around in here, so that they can pivot to defend here or defend here very easily. This being out here is doing nothing for you. It needs to be more tucked in here so it can just very easily reinforce as needed. Yeah, some of these SCVs were not clicked on the minerals. Oh, and then it landed and they try to return around. That's kind of crazy. That's weird. What a weird moment. So, yeah, this fight went very, very poorly for us. It's still okay. but it could have been a lot better for sure. Dude, you can't... Don't be doing this. Don't be laying mines on top of your tanks, man. You're crazy. But see, like, you ended up having to pivot these tanks over and then you pushed it back, right? So just remember, like, try to think about positioning your army in ways where it's able to kind of defend or reinforce, like, very easily. So, like, we're taking this base, right? So we would want our army along in here. Whereas if we were taking this base and it's like, you kind of want your army... Actually, just never take this base. Just don't even do that. At least not as your third. I did it a bunch. Don't do it. It's a bad thing to do. Because I can't even tell you looking at this how I'd want to set my army up. Because it's just kind of a nightmare, truthfully. At least at this stage of the game. So yeah, just always think about like having your army like rally and defensively postured in a way where it's just the most efficient way of defending multiple bases or reinforcing defending a base. Alright, so we took a fair amount of damage there. We're kind of just behind now. But actually no, we're really far behind. We lost way too many SCVs. That's kind of tough. We also just weren't producing a lot, it seems, because our SCV count's way too low. So we didn't even lose that many. We're actually just not producing a lot. So that's just a simple macro mistake as well. Underproducing SCVs. Your supply count's great. Like at this supply, you should be able to defeat this very, very easily. We also have all these vultures over here. Okay, they do kind of come back, but a little bit thrown away. So yeah, just keep in mind posturing your army. Just keep in mind of like how you need to be posturing it to defend bases. So after that's done, we're pretty far behind. Gotta get our SCV count up. Make sure we're blinking, right, as much as possible. Little donation there is nice. But at this point, it's hard because we're very far behind on eco. It looks like you still managed to drag the game out, which is nice. But it's very, very hard from here. Yeah, upgrade. It's going to be very late, but that's fine. Rest of space, which is nice. Yeah, it's just Goose being Goose. It's okay. What's up, Goose? I mean, your vulture movement's fine. I kind of like it. Like, you're managing it around, you're preserving them. You're, like, making him worry and think about things. Obviously, you don't want to bleed them off too much. So now we're 0-2, 140 supply. And we're unsieging. What are we planning? Because we can't push at the supply, right? We're still in 5-pack. Once you're going up to 3 base, especially if you're good with your workers, you should be going up to like 7, 8, 9 factories, honestly. Let's say like 8 or 9 is good. But because our worker count was a bit low and we lost like another 10, we just don't have the economy that we should have on 3 base, so we're still pumping off a 5 factory and like while we're playing a passive game. But it looks like, are you posturing to expand? Because we definitely can't attack at this supply. I'm a bit late. Yeah, but part of why it's late is because, like I said, your SCV count. But you've got them going now, which is still good. So eventually you get there. I mean, it seems like you generally understand like the macro side of the game. Just some fundamental parts that need to be improved on, like I said, the worker production and things like that, and army positioning, very important. Dude, the way you you bunch your army unsieged makes me so nervous. Let me give you a quick tip that I give a lot of Terran players. if you're going to look away from your army, siege it first. Like if you're like, hey, I want to go macro, siege your army before you macro. So like siege, then go macro. Then you can come back and unsiege and like manage your army or whatever. Never unsiege. This is something I see players do all the time, and I've seen them lose games over and over and over again. Don't unsiege and then like kind of position your army or like whatever. You're like, oh, okay, I'm gonna push soon, so let me unsiege all my tanks. Oh, I should go macro. Let me make my tanks, my vultures, and then you come back here and it's like, oh, he's on top of my army and I'm dying. I see this happen to so many people all the time. If you want to do a macro cycle, siege your tanks, queue up all your factories, right? Just do like tank, and then just like spam vultures, right? 3-4 vultures per factory, whatever. Spend all your money, then go back and look at your army when you're pushing. I know you're not pushing right now, but it's just something to keep in mind for the future. Yeah, it happens to a lot of Terrans. We all tend to do it. I've started doing it a lot less because I've become aware of it being a massive problem. And yeah, of course, you need to leave at least a few units defensively as well. This is kind of hard because he's going to be able to swing side to side. Question is, do you have your siege mode on the same hotkey? I do. I have siege mode and mines all on the same hotkey. Siege and unsiege mines, I have it all on T. Don't do that, but that's what I do. But don't do as I do. How do I play like that? It just works for me, man. So right now he's just kind of sharking around looking for angles. We're swiveling our army side to side. Our tank count is absolutely gigantic. We do need to get... Okay, we have a couple of Goliath. Like a few more Goliath would be nice. Obviously you got vessels, which is good. He is taking like the corner bases. You know that he took this, or at least he was trying to take this earlier. But we're going to 4 base compared to his 5. Like we are golden right now on the macro side of things, right? Except for our SCV count, we did just lose some more as well. So like the only harp that I have for your macro is the SCVs, and then if you're wanting to play passive, just be a little bit quicker on the upgrades. But we're 3-1 in 20 minutes. This is still... I mean, that's fine, honestly. It's actually completely fine. So we're set up in a way where you can't fight our army, but we're like super vulnerable to recalls right now. I know it's annoying to set up recall defense, and when you're against arbiters, you just want to keep fighting them and hope that they don't recall you. I'm sure this comes back to bite you. It does me too. But as you're improving and practicing, just try to work towards setting up recall defense a little bit over time. Like it's kind of hard to set up. It's very time consuming. So if you're losing a bunch of games in the process and you're losing to recalls, or you're not setting up your recall defense properly, but you're trying, that's fine. It's a bit of a learning process and a speed thing, getting to where you can set up recall defense. So just something to keep in mind to kind of work towards practicing, even though it's a pain. But right now, what we're struggling with is we really need to get them maxed so that we can start pressuring or start splitting the map better. At this point, we need to be splitting the map. I don't know if you've been scanning at all for his bases. It seems like we're probably just scanning the arbiters based on energy. But it's always good to consistently scan the main every now and then. Or like whatever corner bases, whatever, and just kind of look for tech. If you scan the fleet beacon, you see the fleet beacon's done, or like half done, right? Like say you scanned it right now and you see that it's like part of the way done. It's not really... We're not like in a hurry if we scan the fleet beacon at this moment. Our upgrades are pretty good. The biggest moment is when we see multiple stargates blinking is kind of when we want to start leaning on them and going before the carriers are actually properly out, because they're going to be sucking up a lot of supply while they're building. Yeah, a lot of people don't. Especially when they see Arbiter. A lot of times people... You start fighting against Arbiter, and you're just convinced the rest of the game is Arbiter. But it's not always the case. So, just always good to check every now and then. Throw down a few scans and kind of check what your opponent's doing. But okay, we're getting to max. Obviously we lost this base, which kind of sucks. We're going to retake it, which is fine. I mean, you have a really powerful army right now. We get a pre-siege there, which is nice. So this should be a really good fight for us, yeah. So we absolutely murder this. And after a fight like this, our supply is still good. Obviously, the supply block kind of sucks because we want to be maxed. But, I mean, look at this tank count. This tank count is disgusting. So one thing, whenever you have like a big win like this, you know that he doesn't have this corner base. Obviously, he has like 4 gateways here, but you can't overly expect that. I still do scan sometimes looking just for gateways. When you're in a game state where it's like you're part of the way, you're halfway across the map right now, right? And you just won a big fight, like you got a big donation from your opponent. I just wish we weren't supply blocked. I just wish we had those few extra depots right now. This is a great moment to push into the main. Okay. So the reason we're pushing to the main is because all of his production is down here. Like everything. We don't need to kill the main, but we want to push this army to contain out here. Sorry, I'm losing my voice. So we want to push this army back and contain him at his ramp, and then we can start pivoting to kill bases very, very easily. So what do we do? Let's see. We're scanning around looking for the army. We're just kind of pivoting side to side. The opponent gets to remax. Not really doing anything. More scans looking for the army. We kind of find the army. We're gonna fight the army. This is good. Tracking the army and fighting the army is good. Another great fight. Okay, and we've got him pushed into his natural now. So, obviously this is annoying. We did not do a good job of laying mines down. This is something I feel like I've gotten really good at recently. Is when you were pushing, trail mines behind your army, right? Cut off attack pass or anything like that. Obviously you didn't know that there was gateways here, but it doesn't matter. You don't know how the army is moving around anyway or pivoting a lot of times. Sometimes I'll break units off. Wherever you have blind spots or like if I look at the mini-map here, and I got a base up here, this army I know is protecting this base, so it's fine. But if I look at this mini-map, I see all of this attack path that just has this clear shot to my base, right? So just always be mining pass, right? Just any attack pass towards bases, always be mining it. Even if they have like goons with observers clearing the mines, it does 2 things. One, it tracks the army naturally, so it's like, hey, my army's over here, like just letting you know. And B, it also buys time for you to react, right? So they either A, are going to move through it without observers and bleed off a ton of units, or they're still going to be like, hey, this is my army over here. You've got some extra time to get your army pivoted over to defend. But I think there we just scanned, so is that what I just saw? I think we just scanned and I missed it, but okay, so we scanned, we saw the carrier, and we saw 1 Stargate. Okay. Or I guess 2, probably. I think it just finished. This is very confusing, but I think those are carriers building. It like glitched the... I may have just broke the replay. Okay, there we go. Now it's fixed. But only if I select like that. Okay, kind of weird. Okay, so you scan and install the carriers, right? I think that's what I saw. Let me back up and double check. That's what it was. Yeah, I think this is what happened. So we lost 12, which kind of sucks. Maybe we didn't scan and see. Maybe I'm wrong. But anyway, so we need to be scanning and seeing. That being said, he's only got like 1 carrier coming right now. Containing here is good. You don't need to push up the ramp anymore. It looks like, I mean, to me, you've won this game. This is what kind of sucks. I mean, we lost the space to just a handful of units, which was really unnecessary. So I guess we're not really mining right now. We got the one base mining. We're down to 23 workers. Yeah, I guess our economy is kind of screwed right now. But yeah, though that mine little tip will make a huge difference. It'll help you so much with dealing with counterattacks. So here, we got the contain here. We don't need to push up this ramp. It looks like that's what you're going to try to do. So if you ever get into the situation, it's usually not worth trying to get up this ramp and killing all this. Like, it'll take so long. And a lot of times they're like better and they got like storms and stuff up here and like arbiters and like whatever. It's just not very good. It's better to just bring like a few SCVs, make some vultures, whatever. Set up your tanks here to contain them, like out here on the ramp or something. You can set it up here. Do like some depots, some turrets, whatever. Just make it where he can't really come out of his base. And then you start pivoting army around to start killing the other bases. Like, you're basically just trying to contain his army, make it where it's borderline impossible or like disgustingly inefficient for him to come down this ramp to break. And then you just use all your extra army. Like, you can leave like 12-ish tanks here, get some vultures, lay some mines, make some depots and turrets, and then everything else is like out here killing bases. Because like, yeah, see, like, we're gonna try to go up this ramp. We're gonna get stasis here. We're on siege. We're getting stormed. Like this. We're just bleeding off a lot of units. Do you win this game? It looks like you win this game, right? You could have lost. With like more Stargates, we would be in a lot of trouble. This is the part where you go tunnel vision. Gotcha. Yeah, there was no need to panic here. It's only 2 carriers right now, which you can kind of assume this means that he's got 2 Stargates. And especially if you just scan down there and see. So, 2 carriers are out. Fine. Right? Unsiege your tanks and just come back home as you rebuild Goliath. Your 2-3 upgrades right now. He is... what, like 1-0? Probably. It's got 3. It's got 3. It's got plasma shields, man. Oh, there it is. Yeah, so he's 0. We'll say 0-3-0, sure. Your Goliath will, like, beat carriers one-on-one almost with your upgrade advantage. Like, it does not take you very many Goliath to fight these carriers. You murder the interceptors. If you get on top of the Goliath, they insta-pop because they have no armor. We are completely fine here. We just preserve our tank count. We unsiege. We go back home. We got this base back up. You did need to keep rebuilding workers. We've not been replacing any workers, so our economy is way worse than it needs to be. We're also not mining our gas here. This one's not even fully mined out yet. We're just like not mining gas. So at this point, looking at this situation, preserve your tanks, come back home, fix your gases, add some more workers, make your Goliath, and come back out and keep fighting. His economy is almost gone too. He's about to be on 1 base mining, and his carriers are way too weak to fight your Goliath with these upgrades. But if you stay here, and you're going to lose all these tanks like this is really, really bad for us. This is a lot of money that we're losing to unupgraded carriers. And I definitely see the panic. We are absolutely panicking right now. It's like kind of okay, honestly, if we kill this base. But you're like falling apart. You didn't have to push into this, right? You could have just made the Goliath and then like re-pushed kind of slowly, because he can't really counter you because he'll just die. If he tries to counter you, then your Goliath, whatever Goliath you're building as reinforcements, can handle a lot of carriers right now with the upgrade advantage. Killing this base means like you've won the game. But like, scan, right? Scan to help yourself make decisions. Scan 6 o'clock and you look at this and you're like, hey, I don't even need to kill this. Right? Always heard when they go carry, you must kill Nexuses. That's crazy. That's the craziest thing I've ever heard. Irwin Shadowsong, thanks for the follow, Ben. Appreciate that. I guess I missed that. I mean, you can do that. It just kind of depends. Like, it's not as simple as just go kill the Nexus, but it's like the carriers are really immobile, right? Like they're slow and immobile, and they have to be defending. So it's like you can do like multi-prong. Like say you have like, you know, like you had a few tanks over here, and then you were doing this attack. So like in that case, you can do it. But if you scan 6 o'clock and you see that for money, you don't even need to attack there. Have these tanks over here. Have these tanks a part of the fight. Kill all these workers. Kill that Nexus. Win the game, right? Remake your workers. Get back on your gas. Like get yourself kind of like situated. Okay, you did actually kind of fix your gas. You got a couple here. You did get back on here. So you did fix a couple things, which is good. But yeah, you don't have to panic, right? Don't panic. Scan around, get information to help you make decisions. Kind of regather yourself, right? Bring your tanks back. Fix your gases. Fix your worker count. Build up your Goliath, and then we can go again. You knew that he didn't have this base because you had the mine there. You can scan and like get an assessment like, okay, he isn't mining here. This is almost mined out. He literally has 1 base mining. I have a potential 2 base mining. Let me rebuild my workers. Let me get my Goliaths out. And let's start leaning on him because he doesn't have the economy to keep remaking interceptors and fight me on 1 base. But you do, more or less. I mean, you get your stuff together, you kill the Nexus. I mean, you win this game, right? It could have been a little bit cleaner, but you still win this game. You see how, like, useless those carriers were, just even those few Goliath. Look how terrible they were. Do you win this game? Man, maybe you don't. You don't lose to a dead guy, do you? But I am seeing the panic. I see what you're saying. This was a good catch, right? You scanned and saw this, so this was really smart. You can float a CC over as well. Yeah, looks like we won. It's kind of a crazy game, though. But I think you get the general idea, right? Like, do you have any questions? What I'm saying makes sense. I mean, you still close the game out, which is nice. Maybe a little bit ugly, but, you know, that's okay. Alright, you float the CC over, so, I mean, you understand. You understand what you should be doing, more or less. I like the mines on the gateways. Kind of made too many vultures, though. I mean, vultures in these low eco situations can be great. Of course, I think they're, like, amazing. But yeah, I mean, we're gonna see here, because of your upgrades, how easily these Goliaths should be able to handle these carriers. Every interceptor kill is a permanent interceptor kill now. Dude, this game was so close. Kind of wild. Pretty crazy. Alright, what do we think? Any questions? My voice is like dying on me. Thank you, no problem, man. I talk really fast. I hope that's okay. I've been told that before, I talk too fast. Alright, sounds good. I'm gonna go eat lunch. As you can hear it, probably my voice is already starting to go. But yeah, same thing to you. Yeah, you can watch the VOD if you have any questions, let me know. I don't mind doing this every now and then, like the replay review stuff. Like I said, it does kill my voice a little bit, but I like coaching, I like teaching. I try to not charge too much, you know. I know a lot of people when they're doing like coaching, they're like $20 an hour or $40 an hour and like these crazy rates. Like I do $1 a replay. $1 replay, and then if people want to give me extra, then it's you know, obviously like greatly appreciated. And bonus tips, you know. So I appreciate that, guys. Yeah. Oh, I wanted to give you not too much information. I know I did end up saying a lot of things, but yeah, hopefully that at least ties you up and gives you some things to like practice and work on, right? And don't get discouraged too. Like this is something I tell people all the time. When you're learning and like getting new information and like new things to practice, it's not going to work at first typically, right? You're gonna make mistakes. It's gonna be like overly taxing because it's a little bit uncomfortable outside of your norm. So like a lot of times it's not going to work. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to screw up. Just don't get frustrated and discouraged. Like, you know, I mentioned the Arbiter thing, like, you know, slowly work towards the Arbiter stuff. It's going to screw you up at first. You're going to lose some games because you're setting up Arbiter recall defense and then you don't even get recalled and like all this kind of stuff, right? It's just part of the process of learning, you know? I still deal with it all the time myself, where I'm trying to make myself learn new things and then I get frustrated because I'm losing in the process. But all right, I'm gonna head out. Thank you for watching, guys. I hope this was all helpful for you guys. And I'll be back on tonight. I'm gonna do some Clair Obscura this afternoon, evening, and I'm gonna do some BGH later tonight. I haven't done BGH for a few days now. I'm gonna take a break. I'm gonna eat some lunch. Yeah, I understand. All right. I'm glad it worked out for you. All right.